Okay, hi everyone, so we're looking at substitution today. So today's starter, here we've got a menu of various fish chips items, and on the right we've got a question there. So what you need to do is try and find out the cost of 2 fish and 3 chips, and then 3C, so that's 3 lots of chips, so just taking the first letter of chips for that. And then the last one, so that's 2C plus 2S plus M. So there's 2 chips, 2 sausages, and 2 mushy peas. So pause the video now and have a go at that, and then I'll go through it in a second. Okay, so this first one we've got 2 lots of £1.50, so that would be 2 times £1.50, which is £3, plus we've got 3 lots of chips, so 3 lots of £1.10 is £3.30. So altogether that would be £6.30p. Okay, 3 chips we just did before, that was £3.30. So we saw that from this bit here. And then the last bit, 2 chips, so 2 times £1.10, so that's £2.20. Then we've got 2 lots of sausages, so they're the same price as chips, so that's also £2.20. And then 1 mushy peas, so that is 50p. So we add that up and we get £4.90 as our overall price. So what we've actually been doing there is substitution. So here we were told we're looking for 3C, or 3 times C. We then had to replace the value of C with the one from the table here. And we're going to say a bit more about what substitution is today. Okay, so substitution, you might have heard this word in football when they replace a footballer with a different player. And you might have heard it at school if you've got a substitute teacher. It means your teacher's been replaced for someone else. And say if you had a vegetarian substitute, that is a vegetarian version of a different food. So substitution, it's replacing someone or something with a different person or thing. So in maths, it's doing what we just did in the starter, which is replacing a letter with a number. And we're going to see how we do that. So some key points to remember before we get started with the substitution. 2a means 2 times a. B squared, we saw last lesson, that meant b times b. And c over 2, that means c divided by 2. And lastly, ABC means a times b times c. So that's similar to the top one. So if they're just next to each other with no symbols, that means they're multiplied. Okay, so let's go through some examples with substitution. So we're told a equals 12. So we need to work out what 2a is. Okay, so we know that 2a is 2 times a. And we know from the information at the start that a equals 12. So what this is really asking is 2 times 12. And that is because we know that a equals 12. So just replaced a with 12. So that's the substitution step. And from there, we can do 2 times 12 to get 24. And we're at our final answer. So not too bad. All we need to do is wherever there's an a, we replace it with what we're told a is. Okay, so let's have a go at question 2. So this one, we're working out the value of a plus 4. So again, we know that a equals 12. So we're going to do our substitution step, and we're going to replace a with 12. So what we're looking for really is 12 plus 4. So we do that sum, and we get 16 as our answer. So what we've done there, we've substituted a for 12, and then done the calculation. We've got our value 16. Okay, let's have a go at another one. So here we've got a over 3. So what this means is a divided by 3. So what we need to do there is we need to do our substitution. So we've got a here, we need to swap that for 12. So we've got 12 divided by 3. And then lastly, we just do the division and we get 4 as our answer. Okay, and the last example on this page, so we've got a squared. So we saw yesterday that that is a times a. So we've got 2 substitutions to do here. We're going to swap out this a and we're going to swap out this a. And we know that a is 12, so we're going to replace these with 12 times 12, which is 144. So we've got our final answer there. So when it's squared, that just means it's times by itself. So when it's got the little 2, it is times by itself. Okay, so a few more examples. The key difference here, we've now got 2 letters. So we've got G and H. So we might have to substitute in more than one thing. So for G, as we saw before, that is 4 times G. So we know that G is 3, so it's really important we substitute in G, not H by accident. So really common mistake would be substituting in the wrong one. But it's G in the question, so it is G we're going to substitute in. So if we know G is 3, what we're really looking for is 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, a bit trickier now, GH. So again, if there's 2 things next to each other with no sign, that means we're multiplying them. So we're going to be doing G times H. Okay, so G times H, and we know that G equals 3, so we're going to do our substitution for G is 3. And we also know that H is 6, so we're going to replace H for 6. So 3 times 6, we can just do that to get 18. Okay, a little bit tougher now. So with this one, we've got GH over 9. So what that means is we work out GH and then divide it by 9. So we need to do GH and divide it by 9. So we actually already worked out GH in the previous question, so we're just going to use that here because the working out of GH is still the same. So we worked out that GH was 18 and then we divide by 9. So GH divided by 9, so we've got 18 divided by 9, which is just 2. So we're just dividing 18 by 9 to get 2. Okay, and last one on this page, a bit tougher. So we've got H squared here. So let's work this out in parts. So H squared, that is H times H. So that is 6 times 6, which is 36. We know this because we know from the question that H equals 6. So we've done that first part. Let's work out 2G. So that is 2 times G. So G is 3, so that is 2 times 3. So that is 6. So what we're doing is we're adding these two together. So we've got 36 plus 6, which is 42. So a bit tougher there because we've got 2 kind of steps. We've got to do it in 2 parts because we've got 2 separate things to substitute. But the idea is still the same. Just wherever we have a H, we're swapping it out for a 6. And wherever we've got a G, we're swapping it out for a 3. So here's some questions for you guys now. So the red ones are the easiest, yellow ones are the medium ones, and green are the harder ones. So with with the red ones, you'll only have one thing to substitute. With the yellow ones, you'll have 2 letters to substitute, and you'll need to be really careful with part 4 and 5 because we've got negatives as well. So remember, if that's B, take away A, this is going to be B, which is 5, take away A, which is 2. So just be careful when you've got negatives, okay? And for part 3, we've now got A, B, C, and D. So for these ones, you're going to have to make sure you correctly pick which letters you're going to be substituting in. And again, being careful of negatives like this one. Okay, so really good luck with that. I'll put the answers up in a second, but I will put this as a separate sheet as well. So answers are coming up, so pause the video now and either have a go at it from the video or you can have a go at it from the sheet. Okay, so here's the answers. So check the ones you did, check you got them right. If there's any you didn't get right and you can't work out why, drop me an email and I'll be able to help. Okay, and one last finishing question. So this is to check that you've understood the stuff you've done today. So have a go at these. Again, I'll go through these in a second, so pause the video, have a go. So this is to assess whether you've got it from today. And we're told that x is 2, y is 3. Okay, so question 1, we're told that x is 2, y is 3. So we can replace x with 2 and y with 3. So we do 2 plus 3, which is 5. Okay, question 2, so again we replace x with 2 and we replace y with 3. So we do 2 minus 3, which gives us minus 1. Okay, this one's a bit tougher, so let's do it in two parts. So we've got 2x, so that is 2 times x, and x is 2. So it's 2 times 2. And then we've got add, and then 3 lots of y, so 3 times 3. So we do the multiplications first because of bit mass. So we do 2 times 2, which is 4, add 3 times 3, which is 9, which altogether gives us 13. And last question, 2xy. So we've got 2 times x, which is 2, times y, which is 3. So 2 times 2 times 3, which is 12. So if you manage to get them right, really well done. You've mastered this for today. So really good work, and I'll see you next lesson.